Hi, this is Brad with Copper Creek Cuts, a lawn care company in Northeast Florida, and today we're talking about pole saws. More specifically, what kind of pole saw do you want to get if you're just getting into tree work? Obviously, manual is going to be your first choice. So this doesn't have any power head, it's not a power tool, it's just a stick with a blade at the end that you use to cut trees with. The downsides of this one is that, first of all, it is manual. So if you have shoulder issues or grip issues, if you've got some health issues that would prevent you from sawing back and forth, that's going to be a big reason why you wouldn't like this kind of saw. It's going to be a lot of effort. It's going to take you a very long time to do any kind of work. One of the ways that you can mitigate that is make sure you get a model that has a little cutter here. So there's a little cord that's attached to a blade, and you can actually, from the ground, prune branches that are under a certain size. That'll save you from having to saw through them. Another disadvantage of a manual pruner is it's going to be much more difficult to make proper three-point cuts. If you do a Google search on three-point cut tree trimming, you'll see what I mean. But because of the fact that there isn't a cutting surface on the top, it can be a little bit difficult to try and get a cut under a branch, which is what you'd want to do for proper pruning. The advantages of this, it's very cheap. You can get something like this well under $100. As inexpensive as it is, you can absolutely make your money back in no time. So the next setup we're going to look at is a power base. Echo makes these, Stihl makes these with a pole saw attachment. One of the really good things about this is that it lets you be more versatile in your business. So what I mean is, if you're just starting out tree trimming and you know you're not going to do it very often, what we're about to look at next, a dedicated pole saw, can be a really big investment that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. But if you get a power base, this one happens to be an older electric model. They've got a newer electric line. Here's a PAS 2620. This is an example of their commercial gas power unit. But the thing I like about these is, for relatively inexpensive amounts of money, when you compare them to dedicated tools, this one power head can be a string trimmer, an edger, a hedge trimmer, a pole saw, a bed redefiner, a garden tiller. They have broom and sweep attachments, paddle attachments. The other thing that's good about this setup is it's the most convenient for storage of any type of pole saw tree trimming setup you'll have, because it breaks into pieces. The disadvantage is that, generally speaking, you're not going to have the length or the reach of a manual pole saw or a dedicated pole saw. And that's because while they do sell 3-foot extensions for this, and you physically can connect as many 3-foot extensions as you want, as soon as you get more than one extension on there, the whole thing starts to get a lot of bend and a lot of flex on it. Now what we're looking at is your standalone pole saw. These are going to have the disadvantage of being the most expensive choice, but when it comes to tree trimming, probably the best, because you're going to have dedicated extensions. You can add another 4-foot extension to this. These will absolutely give you a longer reach than the attachment options that we looked at. But again, the downside is they're more expensive, and they are just a pole saw. It's never going to be a string trimmer or a hedge trimmer or anything like that. So which one of these tools is best for you? I honestly can't answer, because I don't know you. Your financial situation, your physical health, the amount of work you're going to be doing with this tool, how frequently you want to maintain a piece of equipment, all those are going to play into your decision, and I'm never going to be able to tell you what's better for you. But I hope this information at least gave you an idea of what tool might be your first as you're getting into tree trimming. In our next video on tree trimming, we're going to look at 3 things that you have to remember when you're starting in tree trimming work, so be sure to come back to Echo Means Business for that.